Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 91. And as you guys can see, I'm always rep my schools, even though I never went to the University of Miami because number one, it was too expensive, and my grades was okay, you know. And a quick backstory about that: I went the community college route, and I got decent scores. I mean, enough to get a enough to get a scholarship and get accepted. But in the reality, school was never really my thing, man. When I say that, I don't mean that I was bad at it. It's um, when I got to college, like most 18-year-old kids, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know why I was there. I mean, well, I knew why I was there. I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. And I took a bunch of social sciences courses, political science courses, and eh. But anyway, on this episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 91, we're not gonna talk about that. What we're gonna talk about is basically knowing when to spread your wings. Growth. I've hit on this topic several different times, but it's imperative, man. A lot of people talk about chasing their goals. A lot of people talk about what they want to do, uh, how they're gonna do it, or not even how they're gonna do it. They just talk about what they want to do, and they never really put in the steps to get it done. As you guys can see behind me, no, you guys can't because the camera's angled a certain way. I'm actually working on this new track. By the way, Splice is a lifesaver. Splice is it's a great program. It's full of different samples, different sounds, and yeah, it's just a great program to use. Right now I'm working with a childish Gambino type of beat, and it's different from my bangers and from my you know my actual hip hop shit. It's different. One of my partners who I had him listen to the joint, he was like, "Yo, I really like this." He's like, "It's different," He's like, "It's dope," and I'm still in the process of finishing up the Life album. Life. It's funny, life. Um, Life is kind of getting in the way right now, and that's what I'm talking about. Growth. Never be afraid to leave a job or a situation or whatever it is simply because it doesn't benefit you. When I say it doesn't benefit you, what I mean is that if it doesn't benefit you in a way that you're actually growing, and that you're actually learning on how to do things better. Most jobs nowadays, it's turnover rate is high, it's repetitive, and people get burnt out. I say that because I've been one of them. I've been that guy who's been, working a job, and just after a while, these things get routine and things get mundane and things get boring, and it's like you look around and it's like everybody who's at this particular job is only there because they have nothing else to go to. They don't pivot, which is a great podcast, by the way. I love them boys, man. It's like um, I try to watch, a new episode at least once a week. Sometimes I don't have the time for it, but yeah, like them guys, it is like Shannon, Fred, Ryan, man. them boys is like that's their niche, you know. And when it comes down to it, man, it's like life is difficult. There's no doubt about that. Like we all have bills, mortgages, rents, car payments, stuff that we have to do to keep everything afloat, right? But it doesn't mean that you stay in a situation just for a paycheck. I've never been fond of that. I've never been fond of people just staying in a job. Oh, just because I'm getting paid, I'm gonna stay here. Um, I know people who've stayed in jobs for years, thinking that when the person above them retires, they'll take their spot, and that never happens. And you end up being not valued. You end up being, mistreated, and you just end up just being burnt out. Um, and before you get to that point of burnout, just leave. Yeah, granted, it's like there are some people that you work with that you're gonna miss working with, but it's like at the end of the day, you have to realize that not only do you have to look out for yourself, you have to look at the environment that you're in, and you have to look at who you're dealing with and everything of that nature. Because what people tell you, you know, oh, it's different from what they show you. A lot of people are really good at flapping their gums, but when it comes time to actually put in the work to actually, get the job done, they don't do that. They don't lead by example. They have other people do the work for them. And that in turn creates a very toxic environment because instead of it coming from one person, like, oh, this is what we're doing, boom, 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 there's multiple people doing the same thing multiple different ways, and it's like there's a mix-up in communication. But yeah, man, never be afraid of growth. The one thing I always say is change is the only thing that's constant. Whether it's friendships, a job, whatever it is, change is the only thing that is constant. And the sooner you figure that out, the better off you'll be. And I'm not saying don't go to a job and don't make friends, because hey, some of my best friends are guys I used to work with, because we were stuck in the same shit for 8 hours a day. Dealing with the same type of bullshit for 8 hours a day, and then it's like you end up taking those soft skills and you develop those soft skills to a point where it's like, you make yourself invaluable, not to the corporation or company that you work with, but to the people that you deal with. And I think a lot of times people forget that. They forget that people have a human aspect to themselves. And with that being said, you have to look at the writing on the wall, and you have to realize that, that sometimes even though you want to stay at a job or a company, they don't want you for whatever reason. And there's nothing you can do about that. And so with that being said, I think it's imperative that you recognize the shortcomings of not just yourself, but the people around you. And you got to realize that a lot of the times, people's own shortcomings, they would try to mask that. And in terms of passive aggressiveness, microaggressions, pettiness, all kinds of different stuff, right? And so you have to realize who you're dealing with, and you have to realize your self-worth. But most importantly, you got to take care of this. And that's why with me, I read a lot, I write a lot. Hell, I try to produce a new track every single day just to keep, the creativity in my brain and in my soul alive. Because if I stop doing this, or if I stop working out, I don't know what I would do. So at the end of the day, man, you just got to realize what's best for you. And even if it may ruffle a few feathers, whether it's your friends, your family, your significant other, it doesn't really matter. And thankfully, in my situation, it's not like that. But I know others who are. I know people who stay in jobs simply because they have kids to feed, or whatever it is, and it's like, I get all that, but you ain't happy. Or when they talk about their goals and basically what they want to do, but there's no action behind it, I can't take you seriously. Or when you ask them, oh, what are you passionate about? And they're like, oh, I don't have any passions. It's like, how are you on this earth and not interested at least in, different things? Hell, like I'm interested in brushing up on my Spanish. I'm interested in doing stuff like that. I'm interested in it, traveling and learning new cultures. I'm just interested in a whole different lot of stuff. And it's like, I just look at people like, how are you not even interested in anything? I was like, you just living this to live for a check. And it's like, But that's neither here or there. And that's why the whole thing with music, man, it's just something that I've been doing since I was in high school, and I'm growing, I'm learning every day. I'm still in the process of completing my life album. I know it's that shit was supposed to be done way back in February, but life happens. Hence the name of the album. But yeah, man, I will try to get them tracks done as soon as I can, and I will get them to Discord, and then we'll get it popping from there. And when you guys see my name on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you listen to, whatever you stream your music on, run my stream ups. Run my streams up. Anyway, y'all, this is about 11 minutes of life that you won't ever get back. Hope y'all keeping the 4 P's. Private player, positive pushing. See y'all next week. Love y'all. Goes.